What is up, and welcome to the On the Burst podcast. I'm your coach, Brandon Savage, and I'm joined by my assistant coach who does the best gritties, Timmy Moody.
What do I do?
Gritty.
Gritty?
Yeah, do the gritty.
Is that it?
Not the gritty. That's like a motorbike.
Yeah, I was just trying to do what you did. I'm not very good at copying the dance. Dancing's not one of my fortes.
TikTok is big for dancing.
Yeah.
And TikTok is absolutely kicking off at the moment, just in Australia in general.
Yeah, that's one of them I haven't dilly-dallied with. It took me, I only just got onto Instagram at the back end of last year, and it's still overwhelming, so I don't think there's any way I'll get into TikTok.
I think you've got to do it. I've been trying to convince you for a while, because it by far does the best numbers for us, for our show, On The Burst in particular. We get so many views.
I'm just already concerned about the amount of time I already spend just on my phone, just searching through apps to kill time, so an extra app just seems like it's a...
Don't download TikTok if you're worried about that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to not make an announcement, but bring up a little topic. So
right.
we did a nice little Paul Kent video on the weekend.
Yeah.
We went to Roselle and recorded just a little skit for the Paul Kent tree, and it was pretty funny. We obviously knew it wasn't our best work. And I just wanted to shed some light on it as well. So we got a few, if you haven't seen it, go over to Instagram. We got a few negative comments, which we're expecting. We don't think it's our best work, and it's not, like, we've never done this before. But I just wanted to explain why we're kind of doing this. There was one comment in particular, which I don't like deleting comments, but I deleted these because I'm like, I don't want other people's opinions of the video to be skewed by certain people's opinions. There was this one comment that said, stick to Supercoach, lads, which is a fair comment. We do Supercoach. We're pretty well established in the Supercoach world, but I just wanted to shed some light. We're on the brink of potentially making this a full-time thing. And
are we?
Not yet, but we have the chance to do it. And if we branch out to do things like this, which is fun for us, and people do get around it. The video's doing all right on Instagram. It's not our worst video on Instagram, that's for sure. Maybe watching it is one of the worst things, but this realistically could be a full-time thing one day. And if we don't try and branch out, then we're stupid, right?
Yeah, I guess if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So
that's a great statement. I love that.
It's worth trying different things, and some things don't work. Try again, try something else.
Exactly. So things like that, we're always going to keep trying. We're always going to try new things and see what works. Because, like, On The Burst, we're on the 28th episode at the moment, and we started this late last year. This was something that was in the works for a while, and we wanted to do for a while, and we've established that. We've done 30 episodes. We've nearly done a full year. You know how many times it takes... You know how many new podcasts don't even last 10 episodes? The fact that we've done 30 of this is really good. Yeah, some episodes are better than others. We know that. Supercoach is our priority, and some weeks it just takes over. But the fact that you guys have got around this allows us to keep doing this and put more effort into the Supercoach show and add more things. So I think the fact that we've done this for 30 episodes, I'm really proud of, and we're only going to keep trying to grow that. And we'd be stupid not to try these things. And that video is a bad example. Let's be honest, deep in our hearts, we knew it was a shit video.
Yeah, I was trying to put it off for a week or two. I think it was that you had it lined up, and I was trying to make every other excuse under the sun not to do it. But yeah. Yeah,
we might learn. We might put the comedy videos on the back burner, but
the shit that Savs drags me into.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because this is why we do it. Because one, it's fun for us. I don't care about the embarrassment and the negative comments. Sometimes it gets to you because it's just like you don't see the positive comment. There aren't any positive comments sometimes because people online, they like to point out the negative and not the positive. But that being said, we get a lot of people get around our stuff. So I appreciate the people that do tune into On The Burst at least and get around that sort of content that we put up because by doing that, we're only bettering the chances of the Supercoach show becoming bigger. If we ever get to a point where we can do it full time,
I was thinking I had to make a call to my boss or something. I was thinking, Jesus, that'd be good.
We're a lot further away than I made it out to be at the start. But if I was a 18-year-old living at home, no expenses, it probably could be maybe something. My parents would probably still tell me to get a job, but yeah, yeah, cool.
All right,
we're gonna go on to Origin news. Origin team lists have dropped Sunday night, and the New South Wales Blues is as follows. Dylan Edwards gets a fullback spot. To'o and Lomax on the wings. Stephen Crichton and Latrell Mitchell in the centres. Jerome Luai and Mitch Moses in the halves. Jake Trbojevic captain with Payne Haas up the front. Reece Robson at hooker. Liam Martin and Angus Crichton on the edges. Cameron Murray starts at lock. Connor Watson, Isaiah Yeo, Hamoli Olakuatu, Spencer Leniu, and then Mitch Barnett, 18th man, Cameron McInnes, Luke Keary. Timmy, the first talking point here, Latrell Mitchell, what are your thoughts?
It was funny. I've been on a roller coaster of emotions with Latrell and how I feel about him, and I'm all in on him. Let's do it. Like last week, I kind of was, I expressed my fucking hatred for that photo he put up with him sort of pondering after the game, looking at his TV, and what could be read into what the implications of what he was implying, I should say. But then he just doubles down with it this week with another photo online with him and Madge and just a big smile with them both. And I just thought, I got to tip my hat to you. Like, you've got a good social media game. You know how to... I love that shit. That was actually pretty good. I don't like the first one, like the judgy photo, but the one where he's like, look who I'm with. And the fact that he was happy means that they've had the conversation.
I've honestly, there were some comments that came out after he got picked saying that he was, I guess, kind of implying that he was salty with the way he was treated before when he got dropped. So Freddie dropped him and pretty much gave him no communication, left him out to dry.
It's a whole different thing though with a new coach, isn't it?
It is.
You don't treat the new coach like that just because, if you had a new boss, you're not going to be like...
Oh, it is 100%, but I think with the way Latrell's acted, it's just it's still the same jersey. So I think just deep down it gives him them scars, and I love Latrell as a character. I think he's a great character for the game. Yeah, I think that swearing interview.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but
not his greatest moment, but it's not the end of the world. There's footy players doing worse stuff than that, so it's all good.
The thing is, he's 25 years old. I think he thinks he's hard done by, which I think he is, but I think he's 25 years old. He's still young. I think in a couple of years he'll realise, I probably shouldn't have done this or that. But
we all do.
I do like what he stands for, though. He stands for the right stuff. There are some things that he stands up for that I don't agree with, but I kind of respect him in that sense because he knows he's got a massive influence, and when he comes out and says something, it means something. And it's funny because Spencer Leniu's in the side. We know what happened in round one with Spencer Leniu and Ezra Mam. There was already reports coming out. Are you guys going to talk? And that shouldn't be awkward between Latrell and Spencer, but Latrell's so big that it's going to be awkward.
I listened to, I think I don't want to say it wrong, Jalisa Apps. Is it Jalisa?
Yep, Jalisa.
Yeah, she was on SEN talking about, she was down there at the ground, I think, sort of snooping about as they do, and sort of reported that he'd gone up to Spencer Leniu and just said, just so you know, I got your back, out there on, me and you, let's win this, let's get this done together sort of thing, let's beat Queensland. So that's kind of cool. And just saying I got your back, I think that's the right, even if they're going to get in your face, I've got your back. That's pretty...
Wow.
That's that's good stuff. And so that they've moved on from that, which is good. And she was saying, look, she, in her opinion, which is a fair opinion, don't see why it's that big of a deal because Nico was in camp for game one and she sort of said that he was just as outspoken about it, that as well, and it didn't seem to be a problem. So so it's funny how the media sort of target different things as well. But I guess Latrell's personality might seem a bit more intimidating than Nico's.
Yeah.
If he was
Nico
cranky with you.
stands up for himself and he's like, "Hey, I think you're wrong, and then they'll say no, and he'll be like, okay.
he's still got tick off. He's still
got a bit of tick
but
off.
he's not going. I don't think he's going to make stand
make
over.
things awkward. Yeah. It's going to be Spencer that's been like, what do you want?
But interesting, like he's had 2 really good games, Latrell Mitchell, so he's earned the spot. 2 interesting things, I guess, is he's got this game. He's got to do it in Origin now, though. Like it's not just the 2 games. I'm sure he'll be able to rise to this occasion. He's probably going to be, spoiler alert, probably going to be my pick for, either first try or man of the match or something like that.
Yeah, baby.
A bit of something. I want a bit of something on him. But yes, it's got to back it up. But then also too was like the moment that he had where he got sent off, rushing in. It was kind of like, oh, geez. It's kind of treading the line, like, because you can sit there and you can go, oh, you want your, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and stuff, a lot of, the really sort of blokies or the old school. You want to, you want to be standing up for your mate. You need to let them know that, you can't be doing that. But let's face it, all Latrell really did was just push him around like softer than you can in an actual tackle.
Yeah.
So he could have waited. You know what I mean? Kept his cool, calm head. He didn't do anything like in that moment. If he wanted to just go fucking bang and put it on him and then he can't do that, do it. But he didn't. But instead he got sent off, which he can't do that. He can't do that if it comes
to...
I mean, you can run it. Like, okay, you can't be running for 50 metres. You know what I mean? So he's got to be smarter than that on the big stage.
I agree. Like, you're going to get penalised for that. So that's something you should probably, dial in a bit. But at the same time, Jordan Ricky and Latrell Mitchell shouldn't have got the same punishment in the first place.
I agree, but he still should have kept his head. He didn't need to do that.
I also agree, but I've seen a lot of people run in like that and absolutely shoulder charge the person or something like that. He didn't really do that. He didn't make too much contact.
But my point is, if you're not going to do anything, don't do anything.
Yeah, true.
If you're going to make it look chaotic and just you're rushing in and it's still, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to run in.
Escalating the issue.
Exactly. Yep. So don't do it. And if you're going to get in there and do it, either do something or just don't do it. Just stand back and then wait for them to take the next tackle, pick his number and then smash him. You know what I mean? Wait for it to be legal.
I think all these comments over the last couple of weeks and him saying going straight up to Spencer saying, I've got your back and all that sort of stuff. They're the right signs that you want from Latrell. He wants to beat Queensland, and you can tell.
For sure. I'm not trying to be too hard on him, but
I get it.
He's got to keep his head in that moment. Yeah. He's got that in him. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And he can't make it just about him. It's got to be
I agree. And in crucial parts of the season, in the last few seasons, he's got himself suspended a couple of times. So, if he comes out and does what Suoli'i did, the thing is with Suoli'i, I think he got it wrong.
I'm not going to be harsh on him if he makes a tackle that goes wrong. But if
Latrell does
carry on like a pork chop on the field, and just do shit you don't really need to do, he didn't need to run in like that.
Yeah, I agree. But if he comes in and does exactly what Suoli'i did, the difference between him and Suoli'i is Latrell has a history, and he'll get peppered for it because he. You've got to make sure you're not making them mistakes. Whereas Suoli'i kind of doesn't have... I mean, he's got suspended quite a few times for a young player, but he hasn't got that reputation, whereas Latrell does. So he's got to make sure he gets these plays right.
What I'll say, though, if there's a fight, say there's a fight on, and it's on, or one of the boys are getting pumped out the back, it's a Matty Burton moment from a couple of years, or last year, or whatever it was, where Gagai was just giving it to him with one of the other boys. I want him to run 50 metres then, and then come in and help. But there was nothing for him to the hit had been done. It wasn't like Ricky was still trying to get into him or anything.
Yeah, agree.
He was just kind of coming over and saying, "You can't do that."
Yeah. Mitch Moses, Nico Hines dropped Mitch Moses in. I think we talked about this in one of the last podcasts. I agree with it, and I think Moses hasn't had the perfect game in the last 2 games, but it was his spot prior to Origin 1 anyway. He wasn't available. He came out, killed it that week, and Nico Hines didn't take the opportunity with both hands. Yeah, very unfortunate for Nico, but the right decision was made.
Yeah, I think it's not. I don't think it's that Nico's getting dropped. I think it's that Mitch is just available, so Mitch just takes the spot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Kind of like if Cleary was available, he'd go straight in there.
And like if Mitch played the first game and then Cleary was then available, then Mitch would go take his spot. It's just the pecking order, I think, of the way it is.
If New South Wales win and Cleary is available game 3, what do you do?
Well, I'd be picking him if he's fit, yeah, for sure.
For Moses?
No, probably drop Luai and pick those two.
Yeah,
because I think that's the way they're going. But I don't know, like it's tough. Like,
Luai has been so good, and I love the way Luai's played.
Yeah, he's been so good.
I think it all depends how this game goes, because realistically, we've never seen Moses play 5'8". If he kills it and makes himself undroppable, to be fair, if Cleary is available, I don't think he's picked.
I think to an extent, though, we kind of need to be not too reactionary just on what happened in the last game every time. Like, because then we're never ever going to be able to pick and stick. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's going to have a bad game, a bad moment. You know what I mean?
I agree. I guess it's probably...
But if you look at someone over a longer period, or if you look at them, how they've performed maybe in Origin, if you can go off that, or how they've performed on the big stage and that sort of stuff. But if you're just going to go, didn't do it this game, let's then change it. Then for the next game, next series, we're changing it again. And then game 2, we've kind of got to have some sort of, this is our halves. Our halves are Nathan Cleary and Mitch Moses.
Yep.
And then when Nath's not there, it's Mitch Moses and Luai. And then when Luai's not there, it's Mitch Moses and Hines, or whatever, you know what I mean? And stick to kind of that.
I love that, because realistically, if we keep doing what we're doing and just switching halves, there's never any continuity.
No loyalty. You can never feel
Queensland have had the same team for like 2 or 3 years now, and I look at their team and I'm like, they're so like tight, they're so well together. Whereas look at our team and I'm like, a lot of these guys don't know each other, and I guess it's different every year. But I think we're getting a balance, and I think we've got the players to do it and do well.
Can I say another thing about changing teams as well? Like, say we lost the first game. Say we had everyone on the field and it was all good. 13-13, we lost, and then we just made the changes. It's kind of like, I feel like those 13, like even like the 13 that have played that game have probably got a fairer indication of what changes they need to make as individuals and as a team to be able to beat that side.
Yep.
Then you then bring in too many other numbers, too many other changes, and they're kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I feel like sticking to an extent does allow you to work and develop and to...
It's kind of like using a condom and then someone else comes in and uses it. It's not going to be the same fit.
Yeah, probably not. Unless you're twins or something.
I'm happy with this move. Cameron Murray starts at lock. Cameron McInnes dropped. Cameron Murray, I think it's the same thing. He's in the top 17, and if he's the starting lock, it looks like he is.
Funny one, though. Like, there's a couple ones I think is a bit funny. Like, he's just come back too. I thought maybe he might have been better off the bench, and then... I don't know, if you could only have him or McInnes in your side, then maybe you start Yo and just ease. I don't know. I thought he looked okay. I think his effort and stuff looked okay.
He got through enough. In my opinion.
But then as well, I'm also a little bit concerned about Dylan Edwards. I was watching him closely, and he got through his metres. He made like 260 metres, but I think it was only like 70 in the first half. And I was a bit worried about that. And then,
guess what? What you were saying before, you got to have a team in mind, and if that doesn't work out, stop chopping and changing based on results.
I'm just concerned about particularly not so much Cam Murray, but just watching Dylan Edwards. Like, after nearly every tackle, he sort of. There was like a moment where he had to sort of regather. He didn't, and he stopped. He'd stay for a sec.
He didn't quite look himself, did he?
Yeah, so I'm just nervous about that for him.
The thing with Edwards, he's got a week and a half to do it. So I think he'll definitely get in there. Connor Watson gets the position on the bench. This is perfect, in my opinion. Covers... I mean, I don't know how much centre he's played in the past, but... I think the fact that we've got a utility to some extent there, it's perfect.
I feel like he has filled in there in the last, like when he's at Newcastle, he's had to fill in there. I feel like he has, but I could be wrong. But you know what? I remember when he left Newcastle, I think part of Robbo's spiel to come over or Uncle Nick's or whoever it was that sold him the spiel was, we'll make you an Origin utility player. That was publicly that was part of the thing that was said. You know what I mean? That was part. I don't know where it was on a podcast that he said it or someone said it, but it was said.
I think I remember hearing that.
It's eventuated, and I think he's a good pick. He, covers hooker, which is perfect. The halves for sure, and your second row. Like you stick him anywhere. You can absolutely stick him anywhere.
I like it.
Yeah.
Queensland, Cobbo out, Felice Kafusi and Capewell in, Jermaine Hopgood out as well. So that's the only changes they make. Not much to say here, just they don't have a utility on the bench, which means weird how they've gone back from it.
Oh, no, I don't think it's weird. I think Billy's just a genius. Like, he's gone... He's kind of like the way that we played the first game was very forward, dominant through the middle, bang, bang, bang. Realises he needs probably an extra forward there. I reckon he's just kind of like, oh, well, we've taken our bad luck with taking an injury. That won't happen in this game. You know what I mean? And this is what we need in this game.
Yep.
And just sort of adjusting. You know what I mean? And not just going, we won, stick. You know what I mean? He's seen something and then he's like, all right, we need a bit more bulk in the middle.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Did you see his comments on 360?
Yeah.
You see Brent Reed asked the question and he's like, what comments?
Full, what's the word that the kids use these days? What is it
What
called?
you say is what you are?
No, it's like when you try and make someone out like sort of just put them on show kind of thing, but can't think of the word. Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, that's it for Origin. We'll do an Origin preview next week, and this time it will be up in time. Tips for this weekend. Dolphins play the Storm at Dolphins home ground. Dolphins $2.75 via Picklebet. Use the code TURBO when signing up. Melbourne Storm $1.44.
Yeah, how many is Storm missing to Origin? Not really anyone, right?
Not many. Xavier Coates.
So just only say, yeah. So, like, 'cause I looked at the Dolphins, I thought, geez, they look like that's a really strong, solid side.
Yep.
When I was going through teams list, but yeah, I'd probably have to go with Melbourne because they're not missing much.
Yep.
But the Finns could win this one. They seem like they.
Yeah, seems like they could.
Yeah.
The Gold Coast Titans play the New Zealand Warriors at Seabus. Gold Coast Titans $2.65. The Warriors at $1.47. Oh, I feel like the bye rounds always brings out an upset, but I'm going the Warriors, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going the Warriors. They've been starting well, and they just need to sort of fix up that back end.
The Roosters play the Bulldogs. The Roosters are $1.33 and the Bulldogs $3.25. Roosters missing bulk Origin players. Bulldogs have Matt Burton back. Stephen Crichton is also out, though. I'm very tempted to go the Bulldogs here. And I will go the Bulldogs.
Tough one. I think I'm going to go with the Roosters. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I think the Roosters still have enough there. Like, their back line looks pretty elite.
Yeah.
Their forwards still look.
They got Manu Young. They've still got Terrell May, Jared, Brandon Smith. Yeah, still good. The Rabbitohs play the Manly Sea Eagles. Manly Sea Eagles are decimated from last weekend. $2.75. The Manly Sea Eagles. The Rabbitohs are $1.44. I'm going the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, definitely the Rabbitohs. I think if the Manly Sea Eagles can win this one, maybe this might be a greater victory than last week's.
It could be. And the West Tigers play the Canberra Raiders. West Tigers $2.25 after a win last week. The Canberra Raiders $1.62 after a loss. I can never go against a team after losing, playing a bottom team that has just come off a win. So I'm going Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, I really like Canberra in this one.
And if you put all my selections together, you can get $16.05 via Picklebet. And with Tim's selections, you can get $6.56 because he's gone all the favourites. So head over to picklebet.com.au, use the code
Which
TURBO.
upset did you go?
Sorry?
Which upset did you go?
Bulldogs over
Dogs.
Roosters.
Yep.
Use the code TURBO when signing up, but make sure to gamble responsibly. Know what you're really gambling with. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858. Timmy, we've got a little game. Don't speak until I say a better halfback than Mitch Moses. Jackson Hastings. Tanner Boyd. Chad Townsend. Aiden Caesar. Luke Brooks.
Get to the point. Oh, does that count? Oh, you said don't speak till I... Oh, that doesn't count, does it? That doesn't
No,
count.
that doesn't count.
All right, yeah.
Sam Walker. Sean Johnson.
Yeah, Sean Johnson's a better player over his career. He's shown a lot more for me. I mean, he's had two really highlighty years that stand out. So, if I was picking a halfback for my side today, I'd be picking Mitch Moses though. But I'm going to go with SJ over the
Cool. I've got another game for you.
Okay.
Daly Cherry Evans. He's one of the best halfbacks of our generation. I want you to say this or that, whether you prefer this player or that player. So, Daly Cherry Evans or Brent Sherwin?
I'll go Cherry Evans.
Daly Cherry Evans or Braithen Astor?
Cherry Evans.
Daly Cherry Evans or Jamie Soward?
Cherry Evans.
Daly Cherry Evans or Adam Reynolds?
DCE.
Daly Cherry Evans.
I was finding it hard to say Cherry Evans. It was good.
Daly Cherry Evans or Stacey Jones?
Oh, fuck. It's hard because you can't compare Stacey because he hasn't been on that sort of origin stage, and he's a mad dog though. Oh, I feel like Daly Cherry Evans has got so much more. He's just more rounded. He's so rounded. I've got so much more respect for him. I've always kind of disliked him because he's all well-to-do from the northern suburbs. But I'd go him still.
Daly Cherry Evans or Jonathan Thurston?
I've got to go Thursto.
Why?
I just think his creativity so much more creative, and he's still a good team, or he's still a good organizer. I think he's way more the full package. I think he's got way more pizzazz. I don't know whether his personality might be coming into it a bit because he's so lovable, but I think he's definitely better, bro. He's in the picture for me as you've got Andrew Johns, you've got then it's JT.
Say it. No, say it.
And Cleary.
Say who you're thinking.
Yeah,
Cleary before JT.
I reckon that's still there. That's still there. Cleary's going to surpass them both.
Yeah.
And I think Cleary's on the verge of a few more years on, I think.
Yeah.
Thurston, come on, bro. He's a mad dog.
I think Daly Cherry Evans needs to get more credit for him as a player.
Yeah.
Overall, I think there's an argument that he's a better player than Jonathan Thurston was, and he's got a better resume. In my opinion, Jonathan Thurston isn't what he is in the Origin arena without Cam Smith, Cooper Cronk, and Billy Slater. Daly Cherry Evans has brought this Queensland team up from the ground. He was claimed, Bulldog Richie said that Queensland, the team they fielded in 2020 was the worst Queensland team ever. And Daly Cherry Evans pulled them from the ground. They're now on the verge of 3 in a row. And a couple of years ago, New South Wales were favourites to win this series. They've been favourites every series except this one because they know what to expect. Daly Cherry Evans brought Manly Sea Eagles to a grand final win in his first year as a halfback. Jonathan Thurston only did that with one team over his whole career, and that was the Cowboys. Daly Cherry Evans' resume is, and as a player, and defensively, Jonathan Thurston was a liability. Teams would target him. Daly Cherry Evans is the fittest bloke. He's never injured. I think the debate kind of needs to happen.
Yeah, well, it probably could be. I think that the tough part to consider for me still is just the likability. And that should be something that's not in the consideration if you're just talking about him as a footballer. Yeah. But because JT, even as a New South Wales person, I think Thurston's hilarious. You know what I mean? Just watching him just laugh about anything is just funny as fuck. And then you kind of on the flip side, Daly Cherry Evans has kind of got a different personality, which I've sort of come a little bit more around to in my time.
Daly Cherry Evans.
I've come a bit more around to, but not during State of Origin. I fucking resent him during this time, especially his speeches. He can go get.
I love Daly.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's very good, and maybe that conversation needs to be had. But yeah, I think Thurston's just excitement, man.
I think we'll look back on this in a couple of years, and when he retires, and I think the conversation will come up a lot more. I think the thing is with him versus Cronk, like, you put them up together, and Cronk kind of seems like he probably does get that jump over him as better halfbacks, but
then you wouldn't say Cronk's better than...
Exactly. So
it's weird, right?
I don't really know how that works. But anyway, thank you for tuning in for On The Burst this week, and we'll see you next week.